Hello. So today, welcome to Conscious Business Talks. It's Thursday. I'm here with you, and it's a fantastic evening. Here, I know this is going to make a really awful sound, but I need to make this a little better. Okay, there we are. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that could be a little controversial. Wasn't trying to be, but it's a thought on my mind. And like always, thoughts on my mind, I tend to share with you just because you're the people. You are that person, the very person who I want to hear from, to let me know what's the sparks in your mind. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what possibilities occurred to you and where we could go from here. And the reason I want to know that is because what I'm going to talk to you about today, the conversation literally on my mind is, are we going onwards and upwards? Or is there a possibility we might actually be sacrificing everything that we just sacrificed and be moving backwards to not even just was, but what was before what was? Cryptic enough for you? Okay, let's talk. So I don't know about you, but I suspect it's the same as what I'm experiencing, or a lot of the same as what I'm experiencing. A lot of conversations, there is very much a choice up for debate these days. And there are people on both sides of the choice. And because I don't want this to be shut down, I literally am going to say there is a C question that we just literally lived through and the C experience, I should say. And now there is a V question that is sparking debates on both sides of it. Protect yourself and get it to protect yourself, or we're not sure, we need to know more, and we're not going to get it, but what does that mean? And there's talks about it being not so much a choice anymore as the powers that be roll out certain things that take that particular question or option away from you having to decide. And as we're going through it, the question that comes to my mind as I'm listening to people on both sides of that choice, so to speak, is, do I have, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, the right to force a choice on the people who are on my team? Does my national leadership, so to speak, have the right to take that choice away from people, especially because even following the national and international leadership and the various bits and pieces and lots of information on media that has been shared with us, some of it seems to contradict the very things that filtered through to me when I was trying to decide which side of that choice am I going to be on. So I don't want to be cryptic. I literally just want to have a straight talk. This is very much weighing down on me as people I love, friends of mine, family of mine, and people who are clients who really are like family, and other people who are friends and are trying to make decisions for their own loved ones, including people on their teams in their businesses. And because choice is such a big part of what freedom means to me, it really has been weighing on me that it doesn't matter which side of the choice one is. Does anybody have the right to take that choice away? Especially when I'm not hearing a lot of rational and respectful exchanges, but rather a lot of stuff based on fear. And fear, again, is one of those things that, in terms of freedom and choice, it's one of those things that tends to interfere with my ability to think, ability to enjoy life to the fullest. And then I have to kind of realign and come back to what is, so I really can. Larissa, I am thrilled to see you. Hello, darling. And thank you. I appreciate that. I do like blue, I confess. So today, I wanted to talk to you about, as a conscious leader, as a conscious business owner, honestly, irrelevant to me what side of that choice, whether to V or not to V you're on, that, but I do want to know, how are you dealing with this, as a leader? How are you dealing with this question of whether or not to take the choice away from your team, and whether you're doing it, and if you are doing it, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful if you're making that choice. I literally want to know if you're choosing to put that. Absolutely, darling. I hope he's okay, and I hope he will be okay. But my very best thoughts and prayers to you and your dad. And absolutely, I'd be honored to have you replay and share your thoughts with me. And okay, so this is not, you know me. I don't tend to disrespect. I try my best to be present in a space which honors different opinions, different thoughts, and bring them together to walk away with something that's always richer than what we kind of came together for, right? Or with what we each brought. If we walk away richer for the exchange, heck, that's a good discussion that day. So, I don't. If you like history, if you study history, if you hang around people who love history, there are aspects that of history that you learn from, and you tend to, just because your brain recognizes certain patterns, then when you come across it again, there's always little thoughts that pop up and say, is this something we have already learned from? And I was talking to one of my friends who's on one side of the V choice, and that is, I need to know more, because what I'm hearing isn't jiving with what I know. And considering that they're actually attached to the medical field, I have to give some credence to what they're thinking and respect that, okay, whatever choices they will make will be based on what's best for them, and trust that, given that most of the populace has already been on the side of the yes to the V, herd immunity being what it is, the rest of the people can be respected for their choice. And then I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were so happy that there were these V passports rolling around. And I was, and they were like, about time. And I was listening, and I had to kind of think about it. And I thought, I happen to know from friends of mine who were around, or not who were around, but whose parents or family were around at the time of the World War. And there was a separation and very much of a division that was caused. And that caused so much suffering in the world to especially one group of people, but anybody who was connected to that. And still, when we look back, for us to learn from. So division or marking certain people, shaming and blaming and discriminating, creating a two-tier system, like those things really weigh on me. And it didn't it was really hard for me to celebrate something that takes people's choice away. And as a business owner, I know this could literally mean people's employment. So this is very much on my mind because I do not want to be in that position where I get to hurt either my team or my, clients' teams or anybody. So I'm trying to look at it as how could we move from this to something that serves everybody better? That's sort of a third alternative kind of an idea. And I know that those of you who are listening and perhaps not watching, the air quotes that I make sometimes, I realized afterwards that you guys don't know when I'm using those. So some of the things I say must seem very odd sometimes. But anyway, when last year, when we started having the lockdowns, I remember thinking, it's almost like the world just literally took a pause. And then it was time to draw a long, deep breath in, pause, and reflect on what was and what about, our lives we really enjoyed. And I called it a reset at the time because it was almost like, hey, time to reflect and really think about what's important to me. Am I really living the life I want to? Where do I want to go from here? What does this mean? What could it mean? What do I want it to mean? Right? To me, it was such a blessing because parts of my life were so busy and I was like running and I thought to myself, wow, it's like almost everybody got the gift to pause, breathe, and reflect. Was there fear? Absolutely, there was fear. There's always some association for a lot of people. Whenever there is uncertainty, it tends to sometimes combine with insecurity and produce some fear and anxiety, and very much so because there was so much uncertainty and there was insecurity about what the future held and what it meant for employment and what it meant for jobs, what it meant for businesses, what it meant for people's lives and health. By definitely, it was hard not for, totally understandable as to why there was a tendency for fear and anxiety to jump into that space. And yet there were people who took that and they didn't succumb to the fear and anxiety. And I could only draw from it the fact that they took the uncertainty and just cleared the space for the next step, took it and took the next one and took the next one and thrived regardless of what else was happening around them, right? So we know that it is possible. And in terms of possible, the next thing that comes to mind is possible, impossible, probable, and improbable. What do you consider possible, and what do you choose to make probable because of the actions that you are continuing to take, even in the face of uncertainty? So I kind of thought, okay, pause, breathe, reflect, reset, and go onwards and upwards kind of thing, right? Right. Except the conversation that is now on the move, I'm kind of like, okay, are we more moving onwards, or is it possible that we are at risk for moving way backwards, where we are repeating certain things in history which caused divisions, but See, with divisions, sometimes it literally is a wedge, and by the very design, a wedge just increases that division. And I'm not seeing how 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 this could lead to something positive when I'm seeing people in the same neighborhood, in the same locale, in the same country be so divided on a question of choice that, frankly, if I go by what my own government said, I don't need to worry about anymore. Right? And what science tells me, I don't need to worry about anymore, because we have the technology, we have the means, we have the knowledge to deal with it. Worst comes to worst. Do I have the right as a business owner to take that choice away? I don't know what you will think of this. I don't know how this will be received, but I cannot not share this weight, that I don't mean to say share this weight, but I'm feeling a weight, and the thoughts that are coming up with that weight as I'm experiencing and feeling it are, is there a better way? Because I know that human beings are so amazing. Like I know human beings are so amazing. We have a choice. Do we let fear make us choose something that doesn't lead us forward in a positive manner? What use all the sacrifices, all the isolations, all the things that we went through for the past couple of years, if we're going to go back to things because of fear? Why are we going back to what felt like, this will protect everything? Why are we going backwards? Especially if the backwards is still giving rise to the divisions that don't lift us up. I don't have an answer right now. But because it's on my mind, I'm sharing it with you and hoping you have an answer to share with me, or perhaps just some thoughts so we can arrive at an answer that suits us better as human beings, that allows us to be better leaders, that allows us to step above fear and choose differently. I I I live by what I shared with you. I am so committed to elevating the way we do life and business. I can't see it elevating the way I do life and business if I'm so mired in fear that I celebrate taking somebody else's choice away. I really can't. So I had to share this with you. If you hate it, that's okay. Share it with me. If you think I'm out to lunch, that's okay too. But if you also think that there is something to be said for thinking about acknowledging fear, understanding people on both sides of any choice, and making a decision that allows you to step above the fear, even as it's trying to spread all around you. For me, that's the main way I think clearly. I think about what is really important, which really is the people. The people. That's been always so important for me. How do I let go of that? Anyways, wishing you an amazing Thursday evening. And as always, I would love to part and end tonight on a little bit of music with you.